Chapter number 3, The Midnight Visitor. Now, who is midnight visitor? Any visitor who comes at the midnight. So, midnight visitor, it is a very interesting, humorous and a very interesting story where we are going to read about how a person gets rid of somebody whom he does not like. So, Ozable, who was a detective in Paris and who was very fat and sloppy. Ozable was so fat and sloppy that he never looked like a detective. He in fact looked like a very normal person, and by his look, nobody can actually make out that he is detective, and that is the best part about detectives, that detectives, they're supposed to hide their identities. So Fowler, who was a young writer, wanted to write he wanted to write a book about Ozable, and he wanted to meet Ozable in order to write a book about him. So finally he gets a chance to meet Ozable, and when he meets Ozable, he was very surprised to see him, because Ozable is completely opposite of what Fowler has actually imagined. Even if you imagine of a secret detective, you're going to imagine that a very fit person who looks very healthy and whose looks are very sharp and who seems to be very intelligent. But Ozable, on the other hand, was completely opposite of it. He was very fat and very sloppy also. He used to create a lot of fuzz around him. So they both, as Fowler wanted to take interview of him, so they both decided that Ozable will be narrating him story, but before that they have to visit Ozable rooms once in order to get a report. So the report was very important, which Ozable was supposed to get that night, and that report was about the country's secret that would change country's future. So as the report was very important, so Ozable himself wanted to go and take the report and keep it safely with him, so that there is no so the report does not get mixed up and report is not actually, it is safely with him. So when Ozable enters his room and switch on the light, he sees that there is a man who is standing just in front of him with the pistol in his hand. So the man was none other than Max. So Max also had come to Ozable in order to steal the reports that concerned about the country's secret, that was secrets about the missiles. And he wanted to steal so that he could actually take advantage of it and could prove bad for the country. Now, seeing that Ozable was still very calm and very relaxed, and he had no tension on his face, rather he just sits down and he also cooks up a false story in order to entrap this crafty man Max. In order to take hold of this man and get rid of the situation, he cooked up a story in front of this Max. So first of all, he did not start telling him story direct away. First of all, he asked that why you are here and what purpose you are here, and then he says that okay, I know from where you have come. You have come from the same balcony from where the two thieves have earlier entered my room. So he told Max that the balcony below the window, there is a window just behind Max, there was a window, and below that balcony there was a huge big nuisance, and it is not only once but twice two people have got into his room with the help of the balcony that was just under his window. So thieves used to climb the balcony and they enter in, and then he says that maybe then he asked this person Max that you might have also come in the same way. You might have also approached in the same manner. So suddenly he hears the knock at the door. So while he told him and while they were discussing it, so he heard a knock at the door, and to which Ozable told that it was none other than police, that the police has come, and in order to check whether the Ozable was fine or not, because it is a huge report and a very important report for the country. So that's why in order to keep it safe, maybe the government has sent police to check upon Ozable. So Max, when he heard that there is police, he became so panicky and he was not able to understand what to do. He started looking here and there in order to run away. Moreover, if Ozable is not going to open the door, then obviously police will break inside, thinking that there is some danger to Ozable, and again Max would be killed. So as Max was in a lot of hurry and he panicked a lot, and he remembered the story of Ozable that there is balcony below the window, and Ozable also told him at that point that there is balcony below the window, you can just run away from there and don't worry about the reports, I'll surely hand it over to you, but right now it is safe for you to run away. So Max, out of the panic, he just jumped out of the window, and that's how Ozable, he got rid of this crafty enemy, because there was no window, there was no balcony at all. So where Max has fallen, Max has directly fallen down on the ground, and maybe his life ended, or maybe he has broken some bones. That is not clear in the story. So at the end, it was found that the knock at the door was of none other than the waiter. So waiter was knocking at the door with a bottle and 2 glasses that was ordered by Ozable. And Ozable, very smartly, he knew that waiter is going to come, and that's why he cooked up this story and said that it was actually police that was going to enter. So this was a very smart move by Ozable, by which Fowler was also impressed at this point. So earlier Fowler thought that Ozable is a very normal looking person and he would not have a great story to tell, but at this point Fowler was completely convinced that this man has a special talent. Though in looks he is very mediocre looking person, but actually he has lot of good talent. He is smart and he is very witty. So the story that highlights here is that wisdom is more powerful than other weapons. That if you have wisdom, it is even more powerful than a pistol that was actually in the hand of Max. So which clearly Ozable has proved that if you have intelligence, you can run the world. So it was Ozable's intelligence that is highlighted in the story, and how Ozable was able to get rid of Midnight Visitor. So who was Midnight Visitor? It was none other than Max, and this title of the story is also highly justified, as we see that in the story there is a person, Max, who enters in the midnight forcefully without even telling the owner of the house, and then the owner, Ozable, he gets rid of him, and by throwing him out of the window. So this was all in the story.